1, 2, 3.
Welcome to Oregon Quilting, and February is Heart Month, so we're focusing on hearts this time. And as always, I have a live audience. And you might hear, upon occasion, the little voice of Melody Elizabeth. So if she wakes up, why, we'll just let her speak. A future quilter, a future piano player. So she's here with us today, and her mom and dad. Okay, Helen is here to share Joy's project with us.
Yes, our daughter just could not be here today. She had to go to Redmond. Isn't that too bad?
Oh, no, I bet.
And this is going to be a quilt for a husband that's person that's getting married. And it is called the Fly Away Home. And if you'll notice, there's lots of those challenge fabrics in the quilt. It isn't complete because she needs to put another row on there, and it's made with Wild Goose Chase pattern blocks and with rail fence pattern blocks.
Oh yeah, here's the rail fence.
Yeah.
And the geese.
But the edging there will be the rail fence pattern blocks, and the corners will be like part of the other.
Oh, okay.
So.
And there are hidden in here are houses. So there's houses in there, little houses.
There's also animals
camping.
in there.
Yeah, there are.
So.
There are more houses. There's a bear. There's a log house.
Yep.
This is going to be fun. Very nice.
So somebody's going to get this for their wedding present.
Okay.
All right.
Is that the wedding that already happened?
No.
Oh.
It has not.
Oh, this has not.
No.
Okay.
No.
We've got another wedding coming up. Okay, thank you. Another Beaver Believer.
Well, who's next?
Huh? Who's next? Karen? Karen, also known as Renee's project. You're even wearing the same colors.
Oh. She's channeling her.
Yeah, something like that.
Karen is here with Renee's project.
So, Renee made these placemats. And this is real Christmassy, but look on the back. It's real islandy. She's from Hawaii. Isn't that cool?
That is. I love that print.
Even though it's Christmas colors, it makes
you can still use it.
It makes me feel tropical.
Yeah, it'd be nice in the summer.
Yeah, brighten things up. And she used Insulbright in the middle, so that, you know, like I have a wooden table and people set stuff on my placemats, the heat goes through anyway. But this would prevent that. So, good idea, Renee. I'm going to do that.
And we still need to take a road trip to Hawaii. They have some wonderful, outstanding, amazing quilt teachers.
Yeah.
And fabric
They have fabric stores. I know I made a check out of one of them myself. Anyway,
thank you, Karen and Renee. We welcome Teresa.
Okay, I have this donation quilt top ready for quilting. It's all the blocks that I had completed that we've talked about the last few months. These are the challenge fabrics, mostly. Again, I love the blue because you can separate the little blocks.
They turned out.
That.
It's so much fun to see everybody's challenges because they all look so different.
Yeah.
Fun.
Okay, the next one that I have here is, it's going to be a tabletopper one of these days. This is an online course that I took to teach me how to do points without ruining them. And so there's a lot of variety here. Nothing specific.
The baskets have these little tiny squares. Oh, they're down there too on the bear's paw.
Yeah. But it was just a fun thing to do. You know, if you pre-select all, you know, your fabrics and everything, taking an online class is fun to learn something different.
It looks like spring.
Yes.
Here in the winter. Although thankfully we're on the West Coast, but not the East Coast. So hello, sister. My sister's in the snow and ice and cold back east.
Okay, this is another UFO that I might get done one of these days, and I thought it would be appropriate to show it today. It's hearts.
Hearts. Isn't that
and this is going to be a table topper for a table I no longer have. So this will be a little bit of a challenge.
Love how you got that table, by the way.
I have a table that my great-grandfather built, and I have it in my living room.
Wow.
This would be beautiful.
It would be beautiful on it, okay.
I could even paint the walls one of these colors to go with it, you know.
Hopefully I get this done sometime this year.
Okay. Thank you, Teresa.
Thank you.
And Miss Amanda is at her brother's basketball tournament. So Faith is back with us again.
And I'm feeling all better now.
Oh, good.
Yes. Well, we have an influx of new blood, commonly known as Jennifer Gleich. She lives in Oregon City, which is not too far from me. And she made this quilt. And it is Elizabeth Hartman's blog called O Frassen. And it's at, can I say the website? Her website?
Yes.
Okay. It's at www.ohfrasson.com. It's called the Cat Vent Quilt-Along, and it was 1 cat per day. She posted on her blog on Facebook as well, or yeah, on her blog, but they shared it on Facebook. Okay, and it's still on her blog. It went from December 1st to December 25th, and it was kind of cool because she put it. We had a couple sewings at my house, and Jennifer had these and put them together, and then she did her little sandwich thing, and she used my basting gun. And they said if you, what was it? If you baste and you think you've basted enough, then baste again, and then if you don't think you've done enough, then just baste again. And she bought me another pack of the basting pins. Because she says, I used up the whole thing, and I said, that's fine. They're not, no big deal. But this is still on her blog as of this morning, and you can also purchase the entire pattern rather than going back and saving everything. You can go to her website, but I thought it was really cute, and she did the quilting at my house. And this is all scraps. And then the...
you have to see the back. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and She used the chevron material in the cats for the binding. And this almost, the only thing that wasn't sewn at my house were the cats themselves. But I think Jennifer likes cats just a little bit. She's a kitty, mommy. And it just looked, you can't even really see it except on the dark cats. You can see her quilting. And I thought she did a phenomenal job. And it's kind of cool because I get to see it. I didn't do it, but I got to see it from the start to finish. And it was only, took you, well, the amount of time that, 1st of December to the 25th. But after that, it took you no time at all. She gets her teeth in something and she just doesn't let it go. A very talented young lady. Expect to see more from her. She's a very nice young lady, and hopefully she'll be coming around more often. Now, what I have been working on lately, Quilts of Valor, since they had the story of the young man who saluted, and they had it on NBC News, and they talked about Quilts of Valor.
And this last week, he actually, so this is January, even though this is a February program, he actually is up and he's learning how to walk.
Very, very emotional show that they had. Mm-hmm. They actually thought, if you hadn't seen it, they were giving him his Purple Heart. And the people giving it, his commander, had no idea that he was actually conscious. They all thought he was unconscious. And when they saluted him, he tried to salute back. Well, all covering him was a Quilt of Valor. And as a matter of fact, I think they did find out eventually that it was in reality a Quilt of Valor. There are also other
Wounded Warriors.
Wounded Warrior, Till They Come Home. There's a number of other organizations that are making quilts. Well, with each of our quilts for Quilts of Valor, they get a presentation case. And that's what I have been working on this week. And the only thing, I'm getting ready to go to a sew-in. So this is what it will look like, except it will be sewn, this here. But I'm learning how to do French seams.
Okay.
So I figured I'd get it to this point so that I could do a bunch at once and get me used to doing it. So I'm doing it over and over. I'm one of those repetitive people. But there's a number of different ones, and we're always looking for ideas. And it was really cool how they do it. I should have left one in the burrito that they call. And the way they do it, it rolls up and it looks like a burrito. You sew one end and then you pull it out just like a burrito. You would pull all the stuffing out of it and it comes outside right, and it looks just like this, just like one of these. And the quilt goes in this case. After it's presented, they give it to them. They cover their shoulders, wrap them in our love, and which is very emotional. Mm-hmm. And we actually had a presentation on Thursday, and it was very touching. It was very quiet. It was just a few of us there, mm-hmm. And he was very appreciative, and so was his wife. And this is all done by volunteers. Nobody's paid, nobody. I figured something you can always give back. And so this is what I'll be working on today. We're always looking for people to donate fabrics, thread, whatever they have. You can get a hold of qovf.org and find different ways that you can donate your time. We also have Under Our Wings. And And you know, if you want to just come and learn how to quilt, we'd be happy to do that too. That's what Under Our Wings is. So some very talented people. Oh, and Teresa had made a quilt that we are sending up to where is she at? Ephrata, that's it, yeah. Charisma's Corner, where she has one she finished. I have one finished and I need to do one more, and we'll be sending those up. And those will be given out somewhere on the East Coast. Okay. I'm not sure if it's Georgia or where, but we sent the tops up and she's going to quilt them for us. And so some very talented and beautiful people. I mean, it takes a lot to give and not ask in return. Mm-hmm. So
okay.
That's it.
Thank you very much. And thank you, Jennifer, for coming.
Yes.
I have a few simple projects. If you need something in a hurry, this is just wire ribbon. I just made a loop at the top so it can hang, or you can stick it if you want it on your wall or your door. And then the hearts are same on the back and the front. But these I sewed all the way around, and then I put a little slit in the back to turn them inside out. And then just tacked it down with a little ribbon. So fast, quick, easy project. We like easy. The log cabin quilt is old. It was one of the first things that I did. 1991. No, it's not one of the first things. I started in the 70s, but this was for. I used to work for a quilting chain, and so I designed and made quilts, and then they gave away the pattern. But this is just a log cabin. Boy, I'm tired. And of course, as always, our eagle panels, which we use for Quilts of Valor, but also just, you know, to have. Sometimes you just want something that reminds you of who we are and why we're here. And this is just split rail fence. So, with heart fabric for Heart Month. Heart-shaped pillows. Of course, I have to have roses, always roses. And my oldest grandson used to give me bears for Valentine's Day. So they have little hearts. So a little heart. There's a little baby one that says, I love you. And then very best friends. So those are my eldest grandsons. And now my granddaughter, Miss Amanda, is joining me, and we are going to be in the studio, and Larry Smith from Body Smith is going to give us some tips on, you know, when our shoulders ache or our back, because we've spent almost all day. We only get up to, you know, go down the hall, and then we're working. So we'll be right back. Welcome back to Oregon Quilting. And I said we had a special guest, and Miss Amanda and I are here in Studio A, and we're here with Body Smith Larry, and he's going to give us some helpful suggestions for some of the things that we do when we mess up our bodies when we're quilting. And one thing we do when we cut is we have this motion that goes on all the time. So what would you say? Is there a way you can help us to keep from wrecking our wrists and our...
Well, anytime you do repetitive movement, something over and over like that, you run the risk of, as you well know, of having some kind of issues with that. anytime you're doing something like this, you might end up getting kind of a carpal tunnel type exercise. So you can do the kind of action like just take the wrist and pull back. And you don't have to do that during, right in the middle of your session. You can do this anytime during the day. You just want to remember to take care of your body. And if you have like a small weight or a can or something, you could put in to add a little bit of extra weight. You can always do that. And also just like a big shoulder circle, each direction, forward and back.
Oh, both ways.
Anything like that. Like you got to break up that repetitive motion and also build up. If you're working one set of muscles, you work the shoulders a lot like that. So you might want to reach up and pull back. And again, you can take a light weight or a can of soup and do things like that throughout the day. Anytime you can do it, even during your sewing session. If you want to break it up.
Another thing I found is long arm quilters. If we're on the long arm machine and we're out like this and we're going and we walk, but it's sometimes we're up here and sometimes, and so I do have quilting friends who've already had to have surgery on their shoulders just from hours, walking back and forth and doing this. It's another biggie.
Well, it's very important that you set up ergonomically in the first place. If you're a shorter person and you're having to reach up, you're constantly going to have your shoulders up around your ears. You might find a way to either lower the piece of equipment you're working on or find some kind of a way to very safely be able to get yourself up a little higher on some kind of a stool, as long as you don't remember not to step back and lose your balance and fall off. But as far as once you have some kind of soreness in the shoulder, again, if you do shoulder shrugs, if you do press your shoulders in, pull your shoulder blades together, press the in, shoulder blades together, all kind of things like that. And since you are reaching forward so much, if you do things where you can reach back, in between. You may be, all of a sudden, you're sewing with your long arms, and you get uncomfortable. And it's like, oh, my shoulders are starting to hurt. Take a break. Push back. Push back. You can even hold it back here. Stretch out those shoulders. The important thing is taking care of yourself. You want to be able to quilt and sew for forever, good long periods. This young lady here will be doing it for another 70 or 80 years. So.
For sure. Yeah. The other thing I've noticed, and this is for me especially, is because then when I walk, I'm no longer standing straight up, because when I sew, and even Amanda does this, I tend to be down here sewing. And it doesn't matter where I have my sewing machine, I just tend to sit, like this. And I know that's my biggest fault. And a lot of you viewers, I've seen you do the same thing.
Well, that's just a matter of you're going to be in one position quite a lot, but then you need to also counterbalance. It's just like bicycle riders. They're bent over so much when they're riding that their shoulders tend to round if they're not real careful. You have to do things also you're working a lot of the anterior deltoid here when you're in that position. You also need to work the posterior deltoid where you're doing motions like pulling back, pulling the shoulder blades together, or even anything where you're reaching down, pulling up, reaching down, pulling up, and this one can be with or without extra resistance, like little hand weights or anything like that. Those are all just really good things to do in between. It's like anybody that works at a desk job in an office. They're stuck in the same position in the computer. They start to get ergonomic overuse injuries. Well, a lot of companies have brought in an ergonomic specialist to come in and set everybody up in the perfectly aligned chair and desk for there and put their computer at a certain place. You kind of need to do that in any situation where you're using specific muscle groups.
All the time. Yeah. And then what about lower back?
Well, lower back, I notice anytime that you're leaning forward for a lot, the discs, which are kind of like jelly donuts in your back, they will shift. And so the majority is toward the back. And then when you try to stand up, it can be kind of difficult. So you need to make sure that you do stand up once in a while and just reach to the ceiling and stretch like that. And then
Reach
also,
up, young lady.
come on, reach up. We're all going to do it together. And then also to kind of stretch out. If you need to stretch your back, put your hands above your knees.
Okay.
Press the back toward the ceiling.
Oh, that feels good.
And then release and do it again and just hold it for a few seconds, maybe 10, 15, 20 seconds. Makes a big difference.
It does. It feels a whole lot better.
And that's the whole thing. If you're doing something you enjoy, you might as well feel good at the same time.
Yes, yes. Larry, thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Elizabeth.
Appreciate, and we will have his information at the close of our program because you're on and you help a lot of people, and it's just really fun to have somebody helping us. So we may have him again. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Okay.
Bye.
We'll see you next time on Oregon Quilting. Thank you for joining us this time. Remember, all month long it's Heart Month. Take care of your heart. On the first Friday of the month, so any Friday works, women are supposed to wear red to remind us about our hearts, because often we forget. We think that unless you've got all this terrible, terrible pain, you're not having a heart attack. But there are other signs. So keep that in mind all month. And thank you for joining us. And we'll see you next time on Oregon Quilting.
1, 2, 3.